Hello, everybody. Amanda Johnson with Awaken Village Press back for another live this week as we are sharing some insights and some wisdom from our featured speakers in this upcoming 4-day free virtual summit that we are hosting starting this Sunday, June 14th, called Writing the World Forward. And today we are joined by the amazing Eva Dalak. She is the author of Dancing in the Dark, which we published last October. And she is also the founder of Peace Activation. And today we are going to be talking about what if peace wasn't something that the world could give you or take away. And we're going to be diving into that question and a few other things that she has learned, having worked in over 20 conflict zones, also having been in the darkness, literally in the dark herself for 2 years when she lost her vision. And of course, that is what her memoir and book, Dancing in the Dark, is all about. So if you haven't already read that book, please grab a copy. You can find it going through our link tree in our bio to our books, as well as if you follow Eva, I'm sure she has a link there as well. So we're going to be bringing Eva on here in just 1 second. Let me see if I can get her invited. Peace and what it truly is and where it is really found, and this upcoming summit that we are so excited to have you on. Hello, Eva.
Hello, Amanda.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, from Paris.
I was going to say, where in the world are you these days? In Paris.
I'm
Yes.
in Paris, yes.
Amazing. And you were just in Greece for a retreat that you
Yes.
hosted.
An immersion. We did 7 days training immersion with peace activators, the next generation peace activators.
Oof, that gave me chills. This is the work you're doing in the world is so important, and it also, I can feel the depth of it. You are partnering with I mean, you yourself have all of the expertise and wisdom, and you're partnering with others in this work, and it's amazing to watch what I believe. Maybe we even started here, like it began as a seed of an idea, and I
Mhm.
believe that was birthed while you were in the dark, while you were living in the dark through your own journey of, losing your vision, losing your eyesight. And so maybe we start there, because that seed has now grown into so much. I mean, not just a book, it's turned into an entire movement, and now you're training others in this. And so yeah, let's start there. How did this seed, where did it come from? How did it start?
I speak about it at length in my book, but I feel like it started long before it actually happened.
Mm.
I lost my vision in 2020, just a month before I had a vision. My vision for 2020 was peace in the Middle East. And I think Spirit just wanted to give me another vision. And like, are you sure about that? And so let's see how much are you seeing, what's the reality on the ground. But I think it's the journey that took me from 2020, and we're 2026, and needless to say, the least we can say is that there's peace in the Middle East. There's more war, more chaos, more crisis, genocide. Like it's just crazy what's going on there, while the world is watching. And for me, what is enabling me now to still keep ground and still believe that peace is possible, actually, despite everything that we're seeing in the outside world, I actually have a deep conviction and vision that peace is available. It's available to all of us. It starts within. And the reason I say that is that for 2 years, I couldn't see anything. I was literally in the dark. And it brought me to review and reflect on where I grew up in Israel, to a Palestinian Muslim family, and what I didn't see or what I took for granted as a girl growing up, and how growing up in a system of oppression and in a system that denies your identity and your femininity. And I think we're all experiencing that on a larger scale. I think we are invited really to own this feminine side that is more embodied wisdom, which is one of the pillar that I lately developed with peace activation. And so the whole concept of peace activation is that we can activate peace inside out. And the way we do it is to sit in the dark, to sit with our shadow, to sit with all the parts in us that we aren't okay with, or that we are angry with, or that we have disowned. And once we integrate that these parts, then we're able to meet life and what's happening in life with responsibility, with integrity, with accountability, and most importantly, with sovereignty. So I work with individuals and with group to really own your agency and your integrity. And so that include peace, that include the conflict that you have with your partner, with your kids, with your neighbor, and with the other community and elsewhere. So it's really not only about peace in conflict zone, even though that's where my expertise has come from, because I worked throughout 22 conflict zones in Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. But what I've learned that there is the same what I've saw when I was in the dark, which is inner peace is the start point for any peace that we want to see outside. And harmony doesn't start with the other person accepting or being okay with who you are. Harmony starts with you being okay with who you are and how you are.
Mm. Wow. Oh, so well said. And again, if, yes, anyone listening, because you do go into this in such depth and richness in your book, Dancing in the Dark. So again, a plug for that. Pick up a copy. It's truly a beautiful story, but not just a story. It walks you through a lot of what Ava is talking about right now and
Mhm.
invites you into some of that embodiment and in
Mhm.
introspection and reflection. And of course, Ava, this is what your work is founded on, and it's truly incredible. And I just, how was the immersion in Greece? I mean, how was it received?
Wow, it was amazing. It was beyond expectation. One of the participant that came was a retired peace activist couple,
Mm,
actually, a couple from Palestine and Israel came as a retired peace activist, saying that they have no confidence anymore in the system, no confidence anymore in their ability to even manage what's happening.
mm,
And at the end of the week, he came to me and said, I feel back at myself. Thank you so much for bringing me back. And I'm a peace activator. I understand better. He was basically frozen in the trauma. And I really want to bring this to what I deeply work with and deeply believe in is trauma. The reason why I lost my eyesight was also refusing to see
mm.
where I was growing, but also all the trauma that we were witnessing.
Wow.
And what happened when your nervous system lives in fear is you accumulate incident, you accumulate event. And as Gabor Mate said, the trauma is not necessarily the event that happened, but it's the meaning that you gave to that event.
Mm,
And we are we are mini meaning making machine. We're
mm,
constantly
mm,
giving meaning to what's happening to us. And that person was completely frozen in his trauma because he was tortured actually on both sides, both by the Israeli and by the Palestinian. And he came to realize that he was completely disconnected from his being. And I think many of us are disconnected from our being, from our femininity. We're living in such a world, masculine world, and violent work where violence is normalized. Violence is the way we communicate with each other, whether it's violence, physical violence, psychological violence, emotional violence. We have come to realize, or we have come to accept and normalize that violence is the way.
mm,
And people say that it's the law of the jungle. I live in the jungle in Costa Rica. That's not
mm.
how the jungle live.
Yeah.
It's not. There's even in the jungle there's certain rules and respects of rules. And I
Yes.
believe right now we are at the end of an era that would bring back our humanity. I mean, you would
Mm,
say I'm very optimistic, but I am, because I actually have a whole methodology that show us the way, that guide us
yes.
to the way, because that's the way that I have taken throughout my life. And it's not something that you wake up with and you're like peaceful. And that's something I say often. Peace activation is not about being peaceful. Peace activation is about being okay with your emotions and allowing energy to be in motion, so that when
Mm,
I am meeting you, I'm encountering you and I'm not encountering the projection I have over you. And so
yes.
that's really key, because that means that I have I have dominion over how I feel inside. And
Mm,
if I have a trigger, if I'm upset because you, or if I'm angry, then I know what to do with it. I have
mhm,
the tools and I have the skills to deal with it so that I can come in the encounter and
mhm.
meet who you are and you can
Mm.
meet who I am. And I think that's what we're lacking right now.
I love that distinction, Ava, of being, peace activation isn't about being, being peaceful, having this like idea, this ideal peaceful attitude. I love that it's about being at peace with what is, with who
Yes.
I am, with who you are in every
Mhm.
moment. And I mean, I've known you now for 6 years and I've seen you 7 years now. And I've seen
Mhm.
you and I've witnessed you, you practice what you preach
Mhm.
daily, constantly, in every relationship with your family, with your sons, with your husband, with your sisters, with your clients, everyone you work with. I can see that, and to me, it's a true testament to this work and to who you are and to why the work you're doing is so valuable, because again, it's not just something you speak about, it's truly something
Mhm.
you live
Yeah.
daily. And I value that. You mentioned something about femininity and how, again, yes, your book speaks to that as well. And I know that's part of the work you're doing. And you also were talking about how we live in this overly masculinized world, which of course we realize is it's why we're where we are. We've been imbalanced and
Mhm.
out of balance for so long. You've mentioned something recently about another for upcoming event that you're doing, and just to give it a
Mhm.
quick plug here, and again, before we go there, just anyone who's watching this, Ava is incredible, as you can tell. If you want to hear more, we're going to be diving deep, deep, deep into these subjects and topics. On during our summit on Sunday, June 14th, Ava will be joining us for day one. So please register for free. You won't want to miss that conversation and 19 others that we are having over the course of 4 days.
Exciting.
It's
I'm
going to be
looking forward
very
to that.
exciting.
It's going to be
It's
amazing.
going
Yeah.
to. So yes, please, if you're
Yeah.
enjoying this conversation, this is just the tip of the iceberg. But yes, Ava, you have mentioned that you have another very cool event coming up. But talk to us about the concept of calling men to
So,
peace.
yeah, so based on this assessment, and I mentioned just the experience of one man in the retreat, but we had 20 participants, men and women mixed, also a family with their kids, a
Mm,
woman and her husband that were going through a lot during that week and that came to peace, came really to peace, to accept the other in their difference. And I think that's really key. And so from there, we developed this idea that actually what's happening is we're constantly building and straightening capacity for women, for many, many, many years. We're like, women need to heal and work on themselves, etc., and like work your process. And what we're noticing is that there's a lot of women doing a lot of work, and we're still living in a very violent world. And so how it's the same situation I would find when I was working in conflict zone. So you're training and you're enhancing the power of women, you're empowering women, and then she goes back home and she's beaten by her husband. So what did you do? You actually created condition for her to actually be even more beaten. And so from this analysis, I came to the conclusion that unless we change, we train and we enhance the capacity of both gender. And it's not about gender. It's really about like how can we actually enhance the capacity for men also to come to healing, also to have this possibility to reach out and engage with the part in them that is available for them as well, that is the feminine side of us. And it's really important to, when we're talking about masculinity and femininity, we're not talking about just like men and women. We have both sides within us. And so there's many women that are actually more masculine and would be violent. So it's not a question of like, oh, let's bring more women to for peace. It's actually let's bring both gender or any, and regardless of how you're defining yourself, you have this two energy that is masculine and feminine. How can we increase the feminine energy so that we can be more in acceptance with the way we are, so that we can connect to our true nature, so that we can connect to nature? Because
mhm,
ultimately when we dissociate ourselves from nature, we dissociate ourselves also from ourselves, from our own nature, and then we become competitive instead of collaborative,
mhm.
you know
I love this. I love
Mhm.
that. And so, and the distinction again there, it's beautiful. Thank you. And so you're going to be working with men specifically in this way, which is brilliant and beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so if
So
anyone,
it is
yeah, go on,
inviting. We're
please.
we're having like really key note speaker. Charles Eichenstein is joining us. We has Hawa, Fabrice, and Andrew. Many different amazing men that are joining us to speak about the work that they're doing with
Right.
men, but also opening the opportunity for men to actually learn the methodology, the peace activation methodology, because we realize we get more interest from women, and here we're really calling men to peace,
Mhm.
inviting them to join us in our efforts to activate peace, because peace is something that is available for all of us and not just like for women or for certain identities, you know.
Beautiful, beautiful. Again, so many opportunities to go deeper in the work you're doing, Ava. You can join us at the summit for free starting June 14th, and then the following week, I believe you are going to be hosting your Calling Men to Peace event. So
Yes,
there's going to be more information at you're on your bio. Please go follow Ava if you don't already.
yes.
Check that out. Register for the summit. It's going to be so incredible. Like I said,
I'm
Ava is
so
just
looking
one of
forward. Yeah.
20 amazing humans, yes, that we get to talk with. And if you can't make all the sessions, that's okay. Drop in for the ones that you can. And again, Ava will be kicking us off on day one, along with a few others, including Zach Bush, who you introduced me to, and I'm so grateful for. Deeply,
Yeah.
deeply grateful. You've collaborated with
Amazing.
him on a number of projects, I know, which has been really beautiful to witness and watch.
Yeah, we
So,
just did an
mhm.
immersion in December in Costa Rica. Another amazing human being, another man
Mhm.
working, really opening and accepting the femininity and vulnerability, and the way he shows up in his feminine side is just inspiring, and inviting other people to come to that path. Really, this is the path of humanity. It's not a path of
Yes.
a woman or a man or of this or that. It's really the path where we all belong.
Mm. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Just like what you wrote in your book. So again, grab a copy of Dancing in the Dark. It's well worth the read. It's inspirational. It's very touching, and it does, I believe, give us hope and optimism in a time in where our world can seem very, very bleak, and
Thank
there's
you.
a lot of suffering, and there is a
Mhm.
lot of the what appears as the opposite of peace happening these days.
Yeah.
So
You know,
we
I
need
like the
this.
sentence of Caroline Mays that says, pain is necessary, but suffering is optional. And so,
Beautiful.
yes, there's a lot of pain right now, but we don't need, we can be sovereign of our
Mm.
reaction and response.
Beautifully said. Ava,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for
Thank
joining
you,
me from
Mandy.
Paris. I know it's later there, and you look amazing, and
Thank
blessings
you.
on your travels there. We'll see you in a few days on the summit, and
Yes.
oh, so excited for the work you're
Thank you.
doing. So grateful.
Thank you, Amanda. Always great
Okay,
to be with you. Thank
take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.